Merry Christmas, everybody. Christmas is here. It's the 25th of December, and this is not only the most wonderful time of the year, it usually also is the most stressful time of the year. I discovered that several years ago, but I wasn't able to fix that for myself. So I started with some rituals, small, tiny little tips last year, used them as well this year again, and it was the most relaxed time of the year ever. I even had a colleague of mine, a very good colleague, Teresa, who said, "You seem so relaxed and not stressed at all. How do you do that?" And I would like to share my 5 top personal tips for you to get your Christmas the way you want it and to be maybe at least less stressed compared to other years. And just to be clear on that, I won't talk about, you have to go shopping way earlier not to be stressed. This doesn't work. But there are some quite easy ways to navigate Christmas. Have fun with our second last episode this year. Welcome to the Pinot Pixel podcast episode number 221. For those of you who are watching, yes, my ugly Christmas sweater is glowing, and it doesn't only say I'm sexy, no, it says I'm sexy, and I know it. Yeah, well, I will turn that off because I need this at Christmas. But, right now you know that it is glowing. This episode is dedicated to all of you who feel a bit more stressed during the Christmas holidays, and I myself figured out a way to navigate through Christmas to be a bit more relaxed. It doesn't work all the time, but it works at least, most of the time. I would say 80%. And I'm not talking about things like start early or prioritize, because usually those things often fall flat. There are so many parameters, so many people involved that you can't manage to just, go shopping in November and think of everything so that you're well prepared on December 23rd. That won't work. And this is not, you can try to follow that, but this won't be my tips. And for those of you who know me quite well, I won't talk about mindful drinking itself and stop drinking alcohol and stuff. No, this is also part of culture, and my credo, drink less but better. This would also be one of the tips, but what I want to do is I would like to give you 5 tips where you can just pick one to have an easier time this year and maybe 2 for next year, and then you keep on going, and maybe in 5 years you have your perfect Christmas holidays. And I would like to start with my favorite tip, with my number 1, because this is also the one that almost everybody forgets. I have so many friends and family members who know that Christmas should be all about family and giving and, just being with your peers, but they forget the most important thing. You need to create space for yourself. Self-care is so important. Because you can't be there for people and please people if your cup is half empty, or your wine glass or whatever. You need time for yourself to be present, to be powerful enough for the other ones. The holiday season is not just about giving to others. It's also about reserving time for yourself. And it doesn't mean you have to block 6 or 12 hours on December 24th or 25th. No, I'm talking about 30-minute morning walks, go for a run in the morning or in the evening, take 30 minutes of a power nap or journaling or whatever. It's just enough to have 30 minutes for yourself, some quiet time to calm down and relax. And the interesting thing is, you don't have to be just by yourself during that time. You can have a walk with your partner, with your sister, with your brother, whatever, but just enjoy the quiet moment. You can just soak in whatever is happening around you and enjoy what's going on. Over the last, I would say 15 years, I used to go for a run every Christmas day, so 24th, 25th, 26th, every morning, every afternoon, whenever it fitted in. This year, unfortunately, I'm still injured. I'm not able to go for a run, so I tried to go for a walk or 2. It worked, actually. It's not the energy level I would expect from a run, but if you don't want to run or you you can't run, take a bicycle, take a 30 minutes walk. This is enough. The next thing that I usually would like to dedicate to the mothers and fathers out there, the perfect holiday doesn't exist. Okay? Forget perfection, embrace presence. What does that mean? Usually, especially in Germany, we'd love to plan every single second. I'm a well-structured guy. I love making plans and I love to follow the plans. And usually they just don't work out, especially during Christmas, because everybody's so focused on the perfect holiday. And you have to put this in there, then the schedule is added up with this one. And you don't have to do that. So try to embrace those little tiny shitty moments where, I don't know, you burned something you wanted to eat or a shitty Christmas wrapping, and just make it part of the story. This moment next year, do you remember the day when you burned the duck in the oven? It's part of the charm. It should be part of the charm. And what we all want is having time with our peers and looking back on Christmas 2024 in that case and saying, it was so nice to see everybody again. And nobody would care if your sweater matched your cap or if you had the perfect tissues on the table or the plate was the same for everybody. Nobody cares. We usually think that the moment is perfect when everything is perfect, but the moment actually was the best moment you have experienced when you can remember it 2 days later. And nobody would remember the structure of your plates. But the stories, the moments, maybe the burnt duck, who knows? So try to get rid of the thinking that Christmas has to be perfect. This takes so much stress away from your shoulders. We won't need and we don't need during Christmas. My next tip is tip number 3. Try to get rid of traditions and rituals that are outdated or you don't need anymore. If 12 people are sitting on a table and 10 of them agree that you don't have to go to the Christmas concert on the local market, don't do that. Everything you have to do during Christmas because you think you have to do it but you don't like it stresses you the fuck out. So try to change rituals, try to break up with traditions you don't like and you don't need. And of course, this needs some agreement with all the family members. And maybe if 9 out of 10 love it, they should just do it. And maybe you decide 5 minutes ahead if you want to join or if you just stay at home and have your 30 minutes quality time for yourself. And when we think about food, maybe you don't have to eat dumplings or roast 4 days in a row. Maybe you just focus on one big meal that is cooked with everyone or for everyone, or maybe you just go out to a restaurant and then for the other days, for the other meals, you just focus on simpler dishes, on raclette, on fondue, on just salad, because it's about the people. It's not about the food. And especially when you think about the people that have to prepare the food, I remember my parents spending 12 hours during the holidays just in the kitchen to prepare the meal we will eat within 20 minutes. And of course, they love cooking and they want to do that because they just like the process. They like to feed the family. They like to please the family and give something back to the family in the shape of prepared meals. But this is also stress, especially for the people who are cooking, for the people who have to clean up the kitchen afterwards or while cooking. And maybe this doesn't have to happen every single day during the Christmas holidays. Maybe focus on just one and the rest you can spend in gastronomy or with just simpler dishes, or maybe just 2 meals a day because you eat too much anyway. The recent study, and we were talking about in that podcast, is that the average person adds up 5 kilos during the holidays. And well, maybe we just have to eat a bit less. And this also accounts for drinking. But I don't want to talk about moderate eating and drinking. In that case, I want to talk about breaking up with traditions. And if there is something you don't like anymore or you have never liked, just talk to your friends, talk to your family members and tell them maybe we should just skip that. And maybe you find some other people think about this the exact same way, but They just were afraid of sharing it. You don't have to be rude. Aunt Mary, I don't want to go to church with you like we did the last 25 years because I hate church. Maybe you just ask a question. Aunt Mary, do you still want to go to the church? Is this really important for you? Do you like it? Because I don't like it that much. I maybe just want to do this if you want me to, or maybe we can spend our time together in a different way. And then maybe Aunt Mary didn't like the church anyway, but she was going there because she thought you would like it. Talk to Aunt Mary and all the others about traditions. Try to change traditions if you don't need them. My fourth tip is about priorities. Simplify your commitments. Think about the average Christmas time. Usually we have commitments with family members, with friends, with neighbors, with colleagues. It even starts 2-3 weeks earlier. And I think if we consider spreading social obligations over the next year rather than cramming them into December, this might take a lot of stress away from your shoulders and in addition from your peers as well. Not every event, not every commitment needs a yes. And I'm not only talking about Christmas parties, I also talk about all the relatives, all the friends and families who ask you for meeting up. And I mean, this could be a very difficult decision. I get that. Maybe it's easier for you because your family is smaller, because when you have a big family, this can get really stressful as well and difficult. I get it. But maybe you think about yourself, about your closer ones. Who do you really want to spend the 4 or 5 days of Christmas with? And then stretch the rest over December, November, and the rest of the year. What helped me the most was creating kind of a hierarchy of events and then focusing on the ones during Christmas in December, stretching the rest over the year, and letting go what is on the bottom of the list. Seriously, if you have 25 Christmas parties in 2 weeks of December, you should get rid of 22. I know that this might be difficult as well because some people think they have to be at some parties just to be seen and just to be polite. But this is also something that adds up to your stress level. So I built this hierarchy, family first, friends, very close ones, and then going down in my hierarchy and ending up in the decision that I don't have to be at every business Christmas lunch or dinner in December. And you should do this as well. And I'm not only talking about business events. My last tip, and this is my favorite one, and this also led to the feeling that Teresa had, use the December to slow down and not to speed up. So what I usually do is, I know that there are several things happening in December. The retail is going crazy. People want to have Christmas parties and they usually book moderators, sommeliers and stuff like for this. And I say, okay, well, if there is 3 or 4, I can handle them. I will manage to do, but not more than 4 or 5 Christmas parties for me as a sommelier. And in addition, not more than 2 or 3, when I'm talking about my hierarchy, in December itself. Maybe I can do 1 or 2 in November already. In addition, maybe this is my advantage. I'm not super involved in retail sales because I sell services and not products. So what I usually do is I try to put everything super stressful in October and November and try to calm down in December. So major tasks, major deadlines are set up in November. I try to finish everything I have to at the end of November, maybe at the beginning of December, but this is fine. Then I use December as a calm down month. And this makes me so relaxed. What I also usually do in December is I'm trying to think about 2025, preparing what I want to prepare, my goals, the first 3 months of January to March, with events, with tastings, with clients, because usually there are some 2025 wrap-up or workshops they want to have and they also need for their strategy. And I try to calm down in December, plan this for 2025, and I feel so more relaxed. And I've been doing this for 2 years now, and this third year, this 2024 vintage, as we would put it, is probably one of the most relaxed ones. Of course, there is some stress every now and then because there are some expectations for Christmas, especially with your friends, with your family members, and you can't meet all of them. But I'm way more relaxed with all of this stuff. So to sum this up for you guys, my 5 top tips is, first of all, self-care. Secondly, get rid of perfection. Third one, rethink traditions. Fourth one, simplify commitments. And the fifth and final one, use December as your calm down month. So I know this sounds easy. It could be very, very difficult. So what I would do is sit down at home, remember what your perfect Christmas would look like, what you want your holidays to feel like, and share it with your friends and family members. And in addition, share it on social media or just with myself. Send me an email at podcast@pinotpixel.com and let's have some interaction on that. Because maybe you have some more tips for me or for the audience. Share it with me and I will share it with the rest of the world. So right now, I wish you a joyful, mindful, and stress-free holiday season. Have some good food. Have some good drinks, with or without alcohol, whatever your decision might be. I see you on Saturday with the final weekly update of this year. Ciao, ciao.